Okay, so let's get into it. It all starts with a simple, almost mindless scroll. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You know that exact moment. You're just scrolling through your feed, maybe you're a little bored, and then boom, you see it. That perfect sunset, that big promotion announcement, the impossibly happy couple. And just like that, your own day, which was perfectly fine a second ago, feels, well, a little less bright. It's this very specific sinking feeling right there in your stomach. And there's this quiet little voice that whispers, hey, why isn't that my life? It's wild how it can make you question everything, from your career choices all the way down to what you had for breakfast. But what if I told you that feeling isn't some kind of personal failure? It's not a sign that you're just ungrateful or insecure. No, it's actually a deeply ingrained psychological process. Think of it like a piece of mental software that's been running in the background for a very, very long time. And it even has a name. To really get the source code for that feeling, we actually have to go back a few decades, way before the first selfie was ever even a thing. So let's talk about this social psychologist, Leon Festinger. Back in 1954, he came up with this really groundbreaking theory that totally explains this impulse we have to constantly measure ourselves against the people around us. At its core, Festinger's idea is actually pretty simple. He said we all have this built-in drive to figure out where we stand. You know, questions like, am I a fast runner? Or am I funny? And when there's no objective ruler, like there's no stopwatch or laugh track for life, we create a social one. We use other people as our yardstick. A great way to think about it is like a ladder. Every single time we compare ourselves to someone, we're making a choice. Are we going to look up or are we going to look down? And believe me, the direction we look has a huge impact on how we feel. So on one hand, you've got upward comparison. This is when you're looking up the ladder at people you see as more successful or who have more than you do. And on the other hand, you've got downward comparison. That's when you look down the ladder at people you see as being worse off. Now, looking up isn't always a bad thing, right? Sometimes seeing someone else succeed can be genuinely inspiring. But on social media, it often twists into something we could call the Instagram effect. This constant looking up can lead directly to feeling inadequate, to envy, and to a major, major hit to our self-esteem. Downward comparison, though, works a little differently. It's often more of a defensive move. When you're feeling stressed or threatened, looking at someone who seems to have it worse can be a quick, if kind of temporary, way to boost our own ego and feel a little better about our situation. And here's a really crucial piece of what Festinger was saying. We don't just compare ourselves to anybody. You know, a new painter doesn't usually compare their first canvas to the Mona Lisa. We compare ourselves to our peers, people we see as being in our league. Your coworker, your neighbor, that friend from college. And that's exactly what makes the comparison so powerful. So, okay, if this is all just human nature, why does it feel so much more intense, so much more damaging today? Well, it's because this totally natural process has walked straight into a modern minefield, the internet. And this quote just nails the core problem perfectly. You are intimately aware of your own struggles, your messy kitchen, your doubts, your failures, your behind-the-scenes footage. But online, all you're seeing is the curated, filtered, perfectly edited highlight reels of everybody else. And the result is this powerful illusion called relative deprivation. It's that feeling of being worse off, not because your life is objectively bad, but because your points of comparison are completely and totally skewed. You're comparing your reality to someone else's fiction. So the big question is, what do we do about it? I mean, we can't just turn off this deeply human instinct, but we can learn to manage it. We can learn how to recalibrate our own personal yardstick. So here are 3 really actionable strategies. First up is this powerful mindset shift called lateral comparison. Second, actively curate your feed. This isn't about avoiding reality. It's about choosing inspiration over desperation. Just unfollow what makes you feel less than. And third, start a gratitude practice. It literally trains your brain to see the highlight reel in your own life. Let's just focus on that first point for a second because it is the most powerful, lateral comparison. This just means turning that yardstick inward. So instead of measuring yourself against other people, measure who you are today against who you were a year ago. Are you learning? Are you growing? Because at the end of the day, the only competition that really matters is you versus you. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to reflect on.
When you pick up your phone tonight or when you think about your goals tomorrow, just ask yourself this. Who is your real competition? Is it the person in your feed or is it the person in the mirror?